Hey, good morning, folks. Long time no see. We are back with the CCNA initiative. I'm sure you guys can hear a little bit. I was under the weather for the last 3 weeks. I had some personal things to take care of. But we are back to the CCNA initiative. I went back and listened to the recording, and I did promise you guys a demonstration. Um, and let me go ahead and turn the wheels back a little bit. So where we left off at, we were on chapter 6, okay, where it talks about basic switch management. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about securing the switch CLI, right? Securing user mode and privilege mode with simple passwords. We did do an example on that. All right. I showed you guys, of course, some examples, how we configured it, right? Okay. And so we're going. We covered a lot of things. But there was one thing that I promised you guys that I wanted to show you via video. Okay. And that is securing user mode access with external authentication servers. Okay. And so, as promised, right? I want to go ahead and show you guys that. All right. So let me go ahead and let's switch gears. Let me go ahead and switch my screen a little bit. And let me show you how the lab looks. Let's move this over here. Okay, perfect. All right, guys. So real quick, real simple. And I don't if you guys are watching this and looking at this topology and saying, there's not a lot of devices. Um, Whenever, of course, you guys have already seen it in the past. Whenever I'm trying to give you guys a PLC or a proof of concept, I'm not going to try to confuse and muddle you guys with a lot of devices if it's not needed. Okay. So what we have here, let me go ahead and explain. I have a Windows server on the left, right? And on the right, I have a multi-layer switch. Okay. Multi-layer switch meaning it can do functions, it can perform functions at layer 2 and layer 3, which of course what I have it programmed to do currently. Okay. So we have it, of course, in a flat VLAN. Everything's in a flat VLAN. Everything's in VLAN 1. The layer 3, the layer 3 instance, right, exists on VLAN 1. So we kept it real simple, right? So what are we trying to achieve here? We're trying to achieve is if somebody tried to log in, right, try to log into the switch, right, they're going to authenticate using credentials stored on external authentication servers. This authentication server being the Windows server, right? So let's pull that Windows server up, okay? Let me come over here. Okay, there we go. All right, so hopefully you guys can see this. So I have my Windows server, right? As you guys can see, I already went ahead and pre-programmed it because I didn't want to spend so much time on the video showing you guys how to set up Windows Server. This is not a Windows Server certification study group. This is for the CCNA. So with my field experience, I do know how to set up a Windows Server or external authentication, right? But here's what I want to show you, right? Everything's set up. I want to show you our users, right? Because those are going to be the people who log in. Okay, let's go ahead and pull this up. All right, so we have our domain, right? We have hyrule.net. If you guys, can tell, I'm a big Zelda fan, right? And we have our users that we're going to use, right? His name is David A. Okay, so we have him existing here, right? And so to mitigate, right, we have him in a group because, of course, we don't want to give everybody access to accessing the switch. He's in a group called NetAdmin. Okay. All right. And so within this group, to keep things short, I don't want to show you guys my network policy configuration. Anybody who is in this group can log into infrastructure devices like switches and routers in my environment. Okay. So since that's set up, right? If we go to our switch, okay, if we go to our switch, and just to give you guys some transparency and some knowledge about EVE-NG. If you're using EVE-NG and you just click on the device, right, you're logging in via console, okay? If we use an external device like maybe a Windows PC or a Linux PC within our lab, and then try to remote to it via layer 3, then we are using SSH or Telnet, right? We're using the other two ways that I showed you in previous chapters. Just wanted to let you guys know that. So this is going to be me trying to log in via a console, okay? So as you can see, it says switch 1, console 0 is now available. All right, so let's go ahead and log in. All right, so just pretend I put an imaginary console cable in the switch. All right, so as I stated before, right, my username, let's go to that, is David A. So let's go ahead and put that in. All right, let's go switch this down a little bit. All right, so it's David A. All right, and so now let's go ahead and put in the password and see if that access to user mode has been authenticated. As you guys can see, I have been authenticated to user mode, right? So this is a way where we can go ahead and secure, right, our infrastructure devices, secure our switch in this case, um, by mitigating access to user mode via external authentication servers. Okay, and as you can see, of course, there was extra settings that I put in, so I can get into privilege exec mode. But that's all there is to it. Okay, hopefully, this was informative. This actually closes out chapter 6. If I'm not wrong, I'll go ahead and double check. But this actually closes out chapter 6. Of course, we are ending on a lab fun day. Next Tuesday, we start back with going over theory. Okay. And I will let you know if we're going to jump to chapter 7 or we're going to finish out a few things in chapter 6. All right. Well, guys, thanks for attending, and you guys have a great day.